Good morning, everybody. This is Karen. I'm up here in my craft room on a cold but sunny day here in Massachusetts. And today I am going to walk you through the process of assembling the cards from my Daisy Meadows One Sheet Wonder card workshop. This card workshop, like I said, is a one-sheet wonder. So you'll be cutting one piece of the 12 by 12 double-sided paper from the Daisy Meadow collection into pieces to make 4 different cards, 3 each of the card designs. So I'm not going to walk you through cutting the pieces because the cutting guide has the exact dimensions for cutting your pattern paper as well as your cardstock for your mats. But what I'm going to walk you through today is the assembly of each card. These are the samples of the 4 cards that I made with this, and I am in love with this set. I had a blast working with the Daisy Meadow paper, as well as this is the Daisy Meadows card making stamp set and thin cuts, which I used for this set. So, and in terms of how many pieces to die cut and stamp, all included in the cutting guide and the card assembly directions, but just kind of walk you through what to do to assemble each card. So let's move these off, and I'm going to start with this card here. So I use the close to my heart card bases and envelopes for my cards. So you're going to have a layer of the peacock cardstock, a layer of white daisy cardstock. I have my one piece of the Daisy Meadow pattern paper, and then some peach and mint mats, and then another little piece from the Daisy Meadow paper, and then this is a small piece from the zip strip. So first thing I did is I drew in pencil a border around it, about 1/4 of an inch in. I just lined up my ruler with the edge and created a frame. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my peach ink for this. Just going to make sure that this is clean because I have been using this a lot. This is the dots line stamp from the stamp set. And I am just going to stamp along the pencil line. And one thing I do is, because this of course is longer, is I have a little post-it note which I put at the end so that I don't go outside of my border. And I am just going to do this the whole way around, moving the post-it note piece as I need. And the nice thing about this is once I get this all stamped, I will be able to erase the pencil line when the ink is dry, and you have a really cute dotted border on your card base. So I like having stamps like this because I find them incredibly versatile. I can use them in so many different things. I can use them on my card, my layouts, on my cards. You can curve this kind of stamp around a circle if you want to do a dot around a circle. And so that is basically that border. I'm just going to let this dry a bit. While I let this dry, I'm going to start to assemble my base. So I'm using the regular side of the peacock cardstock. I'm going to put this about 1/8 of an inch in on all sides, and then I'm just going to assemble my matted piece. So you can use either side of this, it depends on what you're doing with the cards. So I'm going to first mat it on my peach, and then on my mint. And what I did with this small piece of the zip strip and the piece of the Daisy Meadows paper is I just dovetailed both of them. And then what I have is I have our bunny and his bunny feet along with his bow tie. And I die cut them from white daisy, except for the bow tie I did die cut from peach cardstock. And I stamped them in our the Intense Black exclusive inks because I used our Pale Pink Blend Tri-Blend marker to color in his ears and the bottom of his bunny feet. And I put some foam tape on the back of all of these pieces. So this should be dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with my eraser. I find I like this white eraser because it's one of my old habits from my art days of using a white eraser. You don't get a lot of that gunk on your pieces when you erase your pencil line. White erasers work so much better. And this is a Staedtler one, which I use quite often. I've had it for years and it's still going strong. So I'm just going to make sure I've got all of my pencil lines erased. And there's my border, my dot border with the peach. I'll mount this on my base. And then I'm going to mount my matted pattern paper. And then I'm going to add my little bunny friend here with his bow tie. The fun thing is these are fun Easter cards to make. And this paper, though, you know, from the Daisy Meadows isn't strictly Easter. I find definitely it's something you can use for many other situations, so which is nice. It does have, we do have bunnies, and it does have our, you know, the Easter eggs on it, but it does still work for many different designs. So I'll get his little bunny feet. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp the Happy Easter sentiment on the bottom right corner in the Intense Black exclusive inks. And there is my card. And what I did is I did embellish it with some of the Daisy Meadows dots. So that's one of the cards from the set. The next card we're going to do is going to be this one. Let me just pull out my pieces. So what I have is two small pieces of the pattern paper. I got some carrots. The carrots I stamped with Smoothie ink and Peacock ink. And then I have another piece of Peacock for the base. And then the plaid paper, my little peach, which I already stamped the sentiment on the corner. And this is the scallop stamp, which I stamped this on a small piece of white daisy cardstock with Sundance ink. And then I just freehand cut around the base of the scallops. So let's just assemble this. So it's just a fun set to work with. I definitely enjoyed creating these cards for this workshop. It's very easy. I love doing one sheet wonders. Sometimes I like it to do them for, you know, all different cards, but it is fun sometimes to have them for the same card design, multiple, you know, multiple versions of it. So I'm just going to put my little scallop border on here, just below my peach sentiment. And then I have my pieces of this I'm mounting on Sundance. And I wanted to make sure that fit nice in with our Happy Easter sentiment. And this I'm going to mat on on the mint. And then what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to put a couple pieces of our thin 3D foam tape on the back of this to raise this up a little bit and give it a little bit of dimension. For that. And then lastly is my 2 carrots. Add this as an embellishment to the card. And that is, and of course, again, I used the enamel dots to finish this off. So that's the second card from it. And then the third card is this one. So this one uses, I have a couple carrots again with the smoothie and the peacock ink and the Happy Easter banner. So what I did is I die cut the frame, I stamped it in mint ink, and then I put a small piece of white cardstock on top of that, and then just stamp the sentiment and the exclusive black inks. I have my paper and then my peach matte, and then my base being my Sundance. And what I did on this is I lined up where the top of my peach matte would be. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use my scallop border with my mint ink, and I am going to stamp this across the top. And again, I'm going to pull out my handy dandy piece of my Post-it note. And then I am just going to line this up on that side. It's okay if it's a little bit above it because I'm just using this as a guideline. Because once you get it in, it's all set. Just clean this off. Clean off all my stamps. My stamp chamois. So I'm going to let this dry a little bit like I did before and start to assemble my base. Got my Sundance cardstock. I'm going to mount my Daisy Meadow paper to my peach matte. And I've got some foam tape on the back of my bracket as well as on the back of my carrots. And then I'm going to get my eraser out again. Remove my pencil line. I'm going to mount this onto this card. So just kind of up at the bottom of my scallop border. And then mount this onto my Sundance. Add my sentiment bracket, and I do apologize, I'm getting used to doing these process videos, so if I go off screen a little bit, I'm just trying to get used to where everything shows. And you know, of course there's going to be differences because I put this one down a little further than I would have done otherwise, but I got my 2 carrots, and again I finished this off with some enamel dots. And that's the third card. And my last card is this cute one with my bunny again and his cute little feet. So I have all of my pieces. So this time I assembled my bunny together. So I had, again, stamped this in our exclusive black inks and colored in his little feet and his ears with the pale pink blend tri-blend marker. And then I stamped black bow tie on the peach cardstock, and then I just kind of overlapped the pieces and assembled them with some adhesive, and then put some foam tape on the back. And I followed the same format I did with the last card with my sentiment bracket here. So, but this time I stamped it in the peacock ink and put a little piece of white with the sentiment, and again put some foam tape on the back. What I'm going to do on this card is take my peach cardstock and put this roughly about an inch or so down from the top, And then I'm going to take my peacock ink and I'm going to use my dot stamp border again. And this time I am going to stamp just above my peach cardstock to give a little bit of a border here. And this time I'm just going to use this scrap so I don't stamp on my background just as I go over the edge. So I have that. Clean off this stamp with my stamp chamois. I love the stamp chamois. And then going to assemble my mats. So I have this piece of plaid on my mint, and my eggs here are going to go on my Sundance cardstock. And I'm just going to adhere each of these to my card base, adjusting that just about there, and then this piece down about here. And I'm going to put my sentiment banner down. There. And then I'm going to lastly add my bunny. I should say not lastly, because I am going to put some enamel dots on all of these. And I love enamel dots. It's definitely something I enjoy putting onto cards and onto layouts. Just get my scraps out of the way and add my little bunny guy right there. And then again, a few enamel dots on it. And that is the final card with this one sheet wonder. And I hope you enjoyed my process video. As I said, the directions in the digital files, you'll get the cutting guide, which shows you how to cut all of the pieces here, the cardstock as well as the pattern paper, and what you need to die cut and stamp and what colors of ink you need to use. And then all of this information will be in the assembly guide for the cards. And like I said, this is 4 different cards, which what we have here. And for these cards, you're going to make 3 each of the 4 card designs. And it's got the information, has everything tells you what you need to purchase to do this. And I really hope you enjoyed these cards as much as I did making them. And I thank you for following along on this process video. And I look forward to the next time. Bye now.